About as disappointing as I've ever been in coaching with Saturday's effort, and it was an embarrassment and it can't happen like that, and it starts with me. I have to get our coaches and our players ready to play, and I obviously missed the mark tremendously, and it's frustrating and sickening to watch, and I certainly Jerry Kill's crew did exactly what they needed to do to win the game and give them credit, and they're a really good football team. But we did not respond in any way, and that is very frustrating. And so I'm ticked off. I hope they're ticked off. I haven't seen them yet, but we've got to learn from that for sure, but very disappointing. One of the things I think is the greatest challenge we have probably now in these college football rooms, team rooms, staffings, is true connection. Just to where, man, I'm really playing for you, and I'm really playing for the school, and when we have that true connection and relationship, you can really hold each other accountable. And that's something I've got to work on for us to feel more connected. For when you get hit in the face like you did Saturday, and now we quickly got to turn the page and put that behind us for sure, because we all know what the Iron Bowl means to so many, and you can fix your feelings a whole heck of a lot with a good performance in that game. And so we've got to have a balancing act today when I get with the team on owning mine and everyone who had a responsibility in the way we played Saturday. We've got to own that, but we've got to move forward pretty quick for sure to get ready for what I think is the best team I've seen on film at the point at which we're playing them. I think they're playing at an extremely high level. So, man, what a rivalry to be a part of. We're going to try to educate our young men as best we can with use of former players and the history of this great game. And hopefully they have a clear understanding of what it means to so many people.
We'll start with Jay in the front row.
Yeah, you know your team better than anybody. Is this team capable of coming back from an embarrassing loss like that and playing their best game, which is what it's going to take to beat Alabama?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Sure hope so. That's part of, you play this game or coach this game long enough, you're going to have some of those, and how you respond to it will determine a lot about you as a team and as a person. And I wish I had a better pulse for that, but I haven't seen them yet. And met with the Culture Council this morning. I like their response. But that's going to be a good test for all of us to see how we respond.
Jason, front row.
How tough is it this week to not get so amped up so early when you're emotional coming off a game like that? You're like I said, a little angry. To make sure that you're not playing the game Thursday instead of kind of ramping back up.
Yeah, I hadn't given that a lot of thought because I'm so ticked off at the way we played. I think the biggest temptation you have right now is trying to make sure you don't overdo the game plan and try to do too much because, you think you've got to do this, and this to have a chance to win against, one of the elite teams in the country. But so I think you got to guard against that for sure. I don't, the over amped up I haven't sensed because most everybody I've seen, it's like they're in a fog from what happened Saturday, and we've got to snap out of that fast. And so I need to see a little amped up come practice today and tomorrow.
Stay in the front. Perkins, you have one?
You guys on the offensive line and on the defensive line too play so well. Arkansas and then against New Mexico State, but like it just, kind of reversed. What do you think was the biggest reason for that, especially on the front after coming off such a good dominant performance in the trenches, last week?
Yeah, lesson in humility, for sure. But I will say, offensively, I think we could have run the ball. We never had we never had the chance, truthfully, and that's not an excuse. We had 42 true offensive plays, and and as the game went on, it was obvious that they were controlling the clock very well, and you've got to press a little bit. And whenever we did get on schedule, we shot ourselves in the foot with a penalty. And so I'm not sure how effective we could have been running the ball or not, truthfully. And it was just that type of game. But the most discouraging thing is our inability to get off the field and to stop their explosive plays defensively. And so it was, but as good as we were, offensive line, defensive line, special teams at Arkansas, we were equally as bad in all three Saturday.
So is this week, you talked about kind of turning the page, getting out of that fog with Alabama this week, Thanksgiving's this week too. With all these things going on, all kind of in one week's game, how do you try to attempt to stay focused on any one thing at this point?
Well, my lesson that I'm teaching today is about focus, and we'll see if they respond. They get a choice. Everybody has a choice of how you respond to whatever you're dealing with, and we'll all have that choice this week, but you sure would hope that if they got any type of competitive spirit in them as an individual, they're going to shake off the cobwebs and get ready for this war that they're getting ready to go into, and it will be that.
Hey, you mentioned after the game about thinking the practices didn't go well. You think you mentioned Wednesday and Thursday weren't great. Is that something you noticed in real time? And what was kind of your feeling maybe on Saturday morning? Were you thinking about that?
Yeah, I was nervous, anxious about how we would handle the success of 3 straight and becoming bowl eligible and check that box, and now you got Alabama next. And sometimes I can talk myself into believing things, and so you have to kind of balance that. But I told my wife Saturday morning I'm really concerned about are we really ready to understand you have to earn the right to win a game. And so I was concerned, and but it's my job to have them ready, and it's our coaches' jobs. And we as a staff this morning had a lot of heart-to-hearts, and obviously we failed in getting that message across to our young men.
Second row, Bill.
Talk about the task of defending Jalen Milroe, who is so dangerous with his legs as well as with his arm.
Yeah, it's, we did not fare well against a kid similar to him down in LSU, and now he's playing at a very high level with good receivers and good running backs. It's a very difficult task for sure. I don't know that you completely do that. You got to hope that you do limit those explosive plays somewhat, but stopping him is no one's really done that. So we've got to mix up the coverages, mix up the plan, figure out if we can get pressure to him or not. Do we need a spy? You've got all those things going through our heads right now, and how much can our kids handle and do really, really well against all the different sets you might see.
Third row, Greg.
Coach, switching gears just a little bit, this is the 10th anniversary of the kick six. I'm just curious if you remember where you were at for that and what you remember about that game.
I was trying my best. I don't think that I saw it live, or I believe I would remember that vividly. So we must have been either playing at the same time or on a flight back or something. I can't remember, but I do remember once I first saw it and found out, I couldn't wait to call Gus, say, man, you got to explain to me how in the world that felt. That's got to be one of the all-time, maybe the all-time greatest finish in college football. You got to, it's definitely top 3, I would think. But Man, what a finish that was.
Just stand back, Jay.
Hugh, what do you say to the Auburn fans and the Auburn faithful that were there Saturday, coming off a loss with the Iron Bowl, being back at home with a big Thanksgiving week, students gone from classes? I mean, what do you say to get them back here Saturday for what could be a really good game?
Well, you know, the Auburn faithful they have persevered through a lot of things, and they show up. And you know, I've already apologized 100 times for the effort that we did not give them Saturday. And you know, this is not the first program in year one to have some tough losses like this. And I could go down the list and mention some, but you probably know who they are better than I. But we're in a rebuild. That's no excuse for what happened Saturday. But, man, we expect to give you the best of ourselves come Saturday in the Iron Bowl. And so we appreciate all the times you give us your best. And I know this Saturday will be no different for them.
Back row.
Coach, you already mentioned about the run game from this past Saturday, but heading into this week, what is it going to take for you guys to get that going, especially going against an Alabama defensive front like how?
It's hard. You know, no one's running too much on that defensive front. We'll have a good plan, and our backs are good, and our tight ends are good, and our O-line is competitive. But we do need to establish a run game. It will be no fun if you're having to drop back and throw every down. That won't work. 15 and 41 off the edge for them are both really, really good. So it's we need to stay balanced and make them have to at least honor the run game.
Far back, John.
You've coached against Nick Saban a number of times when you're at Ole Miss and you've had success against him. When you're game planning for Nick Saban coach team, what are some similarities that throughout the years his teams consistently do well?
Tackle, mix-up coverages. Fronts haven't changed much. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. He's got a few more coverages that he runs now, but his teams are always physical and they're always going to tackle well. And you see that very vividly on these tapes also.
Front row, Dave.
You mentioned Jerry Gill's game plan. What was it, maybe just particularly on offense, that made it so difficult to adjust once you kind of saw what they were doing defensively? Was it mostly time of possession? I guess what other factors do you think there were?
Yeah, the time of possession killed our offense for sure, and the opportunities we had. But defensively, it's more missed tackles than we've had the last 3 games combined. We misaligned more times. The focus that we had, obviously, for the game plan was lacking. And, you know, we didn't get it done. And it wasn't a whole lot of adjustments to do. They didn't do a whole lot. But, man, you got to give them credit when they did have a chance to make a throw in a tight window and make a catch in a tight window to convert a 3rd down or a 4th down or a score. They made every single play. And so give them credit for that. But we tackled so poorly.
Back row.
Coach, I know you said that you're giving a message on focus today. As you lead into the Iron Bowl, for you personally, what's going to be the marker that your team is progressing in the right way after you have these discussions?
I don't think I'll know that until after Tuesday's practice. But Tuesday's practice needs to be physical. It needs to set the tone of what this game's going to be like. And you're going to get punched in the mouth in this game, and you better be ready to respond. And it's going to be a physical test of your will and of you physically also. And so Tuesday needs to. It can't be that totally, but it needs to set that tone.
Front row, Jason.
You know, I think 6 out of 7 possessions offensively faced a 3rd and 10 or longer.
Yep.
Staying on schedule has been a focus all year. Is that ultra important come Saturday?
No, yeah, that game will get really difficult if we're not in some 3rd and manageables. It was just a nightmare of everything we've done pretty well the last few weeks, winning first down, not having penalties, taking care of the ball. All of those things were pretty non-existent Saturday, and we're going to be very strategic about our first and second down calls to try to get us in those third and manageable. I mean, I don't know, I saw their stats on third down are pretty dang good. I can't remember what they were, but they're in the top 3 or 4 in third downs.
Stand in front, Christian.
You with signing day coming up, how important is this weekend to get guys on campus and try and make a lasting impact?
Yeah, that's it. We expect to have a plethora of great players here, and it will be our opportunity to present to them one last time before the season ends how great the atmosphere is at Auburn, how great our fans are, how great this atmosphere, this family, the Auburn family is to be a part of, and hopefully we can solidify, all the ones who are currently committed and maybe swing a few others to say, man, I want to go help them build something there. I know they can. They have the resources. They have the support. We need some players to come join us.
Anything else? Got one more back. John?
Coach, we covered both Alabama and Auburn and Birmingham, and despite coming off the loss Saturday, Alabama double-digit point favorite. There's a good contingent of that fan base that terrified to come here and play this game in that building. What does that say about this program, about this game, and about the atmosphere that this university is able to create?
Well, I think it speaks to the history, the people that have gone before us, fans and coaches and players who understood what this rivalry meant to so many, and they were willing to lay it on the line, and in particularly doing it here in Jordan-Hare, where our fans have been incredible, and I think they'll even be at another level come Saturday. And I think it just speaks to the love and passion that our people have for our program, and particularly when you're playing in this game.
All right, Coach. Thank you very
Yep,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate it.